Not in person. Oh, I clicked the live button, everybody. Here we go.
Oh, look at that. What an entrance.
Hello, everybody. My name is Nate. I'm from Hall Yeah Comics. This is Hall Yeah Comics, and I am joined by 4 other comic book YouTubers.
Oh, wait, wrong show.
So, no, that's okay. These 3 guys are from the council, and I'm gonna play to that a little bit tonight because I have questions, and I even have some books, things to bring up. But before we get into all of that, I want to say hello to my lovely co-host, as always, Hagen from Lettuce Comics. We are joined again by our friend Derek, the Uncanny Derek, and Eric from SideQuest Comics. Derek and Eric, I'm not going to mess that up tonight. And for the first time, I am hanging out with Ryan, the Colossus Collector. So hello, Ryan. Thanks for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm really excited, actually. I'm very excited. And I want to talk about, give you a chance to talk about your latest video because you started a new little endeavor in your collection, which I think is really cool. Before we get going, though, we got a lot of people here, and they are talking like crazy. So let's say there's never too many. Let's say hi. So there's Robert Belazard. Oh, no more mutants. From Dave at still only 35 cents. There's K Munin. I think you may be safe in tonight's stream, my friend. Your most hated character may not appear. Rich from Big Nasty Comics. How you doing, Rich? We got Big Lyle. Hey, who let this guy in here? There's the Uncanny Derek again. Christopher Parker. Hey, Chris, what's up? Dan from Dan's Hobby Corner. Secret Lair Comics, thanks for being here. Adam was just on Matt's stream. If anybody caught that, and if you didn't, you should go watch it in the rewind. He showed some crazy good books. And in addition to that, he showed a ton of really good original art that he's done, which, he drew this picture for me that's back here. He drew one for Hagen. It was a great show. So good job, guys. Hey, what's on the comic rack? Mr. Akins. I'm wearing the shirt. Did somebody say John Byrne?
Got that shirt.
Isn't this cool? Isn't it the coolest?
It is the coolest.
It really makes me wish I had a shirt. There's Matt in Clemson. Hey, Matt. And Just Michael. There's JSS. Man, there are a ton of people. Oh, Eric from 9 Panel Grid. And Bleak, thanks for being here, bud. Coach, Doug, Kate, how are you? Good to see you. Comic Mike, another new YouTuber everybody should check out. Oh, we're the Blueprint super couple?
Apparently so. I believe it.
Yeah, every relationship should be modeled after ours, I guess. I may have seen everybody at this point, except this guy snuck in too.
There's like 26 people in there today.
Yeah, it's a lot for a Tuesday night. So thank you everybody for joining us. Backstage, Hagen and Derek and I were talking about how it's only Tuesday, but it's already been a long week. So this is my chance to unwind and have fun and talk comic books. And I've got 3 people on here from the Council of X. So go ahead, plug that, man, because I think it's so cool what you guys do. So I don't know, Ryan,
you're the mastermind.
What's up in here?
You're the Professor X.
That's true. I did do that. So hi to everybody who doesn't know me. I'm Ryan, the Colossus Collector, and thanks once again to Nate for having me on tonight. The Council of X is a live stream show I have on my channel. It's X-Men themed, X-Men related. We talk everything X-Men. Bunch of X-Men enthusiasts in the council, and I don't have a particular schedule. We're just kind of generally on at least once a month, hopefully, if I can make it happen. Sometimes a little more frequently. I'm a little bit sporadic with the episodes, but always a good time. Always have a lot of fun. And we just had one a week and a half ago or so, and yeah, it's great. We sometimes it's structured. The last episode was just like bring stuff, show stuff,
Yeah,
have a chat.
and
But,
it's a lot of you. I mean, I watched a little of your
grown.
last stream. It's like what, 9? There were 9 people in that one.
Yeah, I think we
Yeah.
got up to 9.
Yeah.
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 So
So we
it was
maxed
I think
out
it's-
that StreamYard subscription, that premium subscription.
yeah. As you can see here, we fly with the duck.
I'm starting to honestly, if I didn't have the council, I would go back to the duck because the membership cost is ridiculous. And
It's so ridiculous.
I'm Canadian and it cost of living
Oh,
up
yeah.
here sucks. So
Slightly.
So I wanted to start with Eric has suggested to me, and I actually put a hold on it at the library to get the Exterminators series that had Dazzler and Jubilee, and I can't remember the third lead in that.
My girl, Laura.
Okay.
X-23.
That's right, X-23, Laura Linney. So I just wondered if you guys, as X-Men guys, had any kind of recommendations for books that, because I am not an X-Men guy, even though I'm going to show tonight some X-Men books and ask, or some X books anyway, and ask some opinions. But like, what storylines or what series would you suggest for somebody who is because X-Men is kind of a cut off part of Marvel. It's its own mini universe almost. What would you suggest somebody who doesn't know a lot about it read it to get their feet wet, or something that's just a really great read no matter what you know or not?
well, these two guys, I can't figure this out.
Eric
and Derek are very well read individuals.
It's because we're old.
I'm more of like
Well, I am.
working my way up. So I'll let them jump in, and I'll sub in with any extra little recommendations.
Well, Eric, it looked like you had an idea. What would you suggest?
I thought about this from your thumbnails that we were gonna change you. And I was like,
change me, but
I got one of the I think the first and best X-Men stories, because you're a reader, you love good stories.
Yep.
And I've been putting together my C2E2 list for Chris Claremont, so I got piles next to me. But this is probably one of, I think, the stories for any wannabe X-Men person to read, and it's this one. God Loves, Man Kills. This was one that when I read it as a kid, it just blew my little mind away. This is basically the whole summary of mutants. Who they are, what the world considers them as. So this was one of my top picks for you to jump in and read. And it's all self-contained. It's it's an old classic graphic novel.
I feel like I have read that a long time ago when I was a kid. But when I was thinking about a question to ask you guys, how I wanted to ask this, I was like, I guarantee someone's going to say that because that's the one that comes up the most.
Mm-hmm.
So what is it about that particular story that makes it
it's not kid friendly at all. It's very adult themed.
It captures the essence, the meaning behind X-Men very well in one story. It's like Eric said, it's self-contained, and it's a great read for someone who doesn't want to commit hard to a whole run of X-Men. If you want to really understand what X-Men's about, that's a great one-off read.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I love the answer. I wrote it down. It will be read because I am a reader and I just love good stories, and I think there are great probably X-Men stories. I have a few X books that I've picked up over the years that I've stuck with because I've really liked them. So with that, I mean, does anybody have something they want to start off showing tonight? I open the floor to any of you.
I just want to tag off with Eric there because God Love Man Kills is quintessential, and it's self-contained, yes, but what Claremont does very well is for anybody, you don't have to even understand what X-Men are because he explains what they are, he explains the characters and their powers all right at the beginning. So if you're going in completely blind, like it catches you up almost instantaneously within the first like 10 pages. And so you're able to hit the ground running with it. You're able to understand the relationships of all the characters.
Mm-hmm.
You get it's like, it's not really a spoiler, but it's about mutants versus humans. But you also have Magneto in there, and you understand he's a villain, but he's, you know, the ambiguous, you know, there's good mutants and there's bad mutants, but like they trump humans in a way. So like they all and there's obviously some, like as Eric showed from the very back of the book, that's from the first like 2 pages of the story. It hits you in the head with social injustice, like right off the bat. Yeah. And it's actually a jaw dropping first couple pages. And if you're not into it from there, then you might as well just stop reading it.
I think it's one of Chris Claremont's best written pieces or stories.
Hands down. And so, yeah, God Loves Man Kills is quintessential. And it is like, it's a baseline for anybody to, I say, if you don't know X-Men, start with this. If you have a general idea with X-Men, I can suggest some other things, but God Loves Man Kills is like the book to go with. Well, anyway.
I'm sold, boys. I'm sold.
What was I up here for again?
You were going to show some or any books, and Lyle having a lot of X-Men. Lyle has 7,000 long boxes in his house. Lyle has a lot of everything. Love it.
So actually, I mentioned it backstage, Ryan, about your video that I had something for you, so to speak. It's not for you, it's mine. God damn it! But I'm gonna share it, and it's. So Ryan had a video out, was it last week, about your original art? And so this segues into what I'm going to do here. So the last time Nate and Hagen had me on, I showed off a bunch of X Factor books with David Yardin and how amazing an artist David Yardin is and how like he can just run the gamut of different styles. Ryan's video is a piece of original artwork of David Yardin, and it's phenomenal because David Yardin is an amazing artist.
You can follow this up with the art too. So
you're setting it up because
it's coming.
I love the page too that you have, Ryan. So
yeah.
So this is X Factor number 235, and this is a David Yardin cover. But one thing, I have original art from this book, but David Yardin didn't do it. This is a segue. I have original artwork from actually a local artist here in Niagara. His name is Leonard Kirk, and I have this framed here. And let me just do this. Make this nice and black so it doesn't reflect easily. Hello, there we are.
Yes.
So this is a piece of original artwork that I have from X Factor 235, and so Leonard Kirk, just as an aside, is an amazing artist who is, in my opinion, a terribly underappreciated artist. Because what he does so well is storytelling and emotion, and he's so solid in his storytelling and how the characters are. And so I like this page for a handful of different reasons. It has most of the X Factor cast involved with it, but it also showcases Leonard Kirk's panels and his styling because he leaves room for the dialogue to breathe, obviously along the top, even though there's actually no dialogue on these pages. There's dialogue along here and a little bit along the top here, but he showcases all the emotions that I feel are in Peter David's X Factor series within this page. And I picked this up maybe in like 2012 or something. But I just absolutely love having the whole team together. It's this page is like quintessential Peter David's X Factor, where it's full of humor, it's full of drama, it has so much going to it that I just think that, Leonard Kirk needs a lot more appreciation for one. But also, I just really love everything about X Factor in this whole team. So we got it's Richter, Multiple Man, Siren, Wolfsbane, and Strong Guy all on here watching TV actually. So anyway, that was my segue into this original artwork from David Yardin.
Love it.
Very cool. Very cool. And I think you kind of summed up. X Factor is one of the books that I read quite a bit of. And I think it's because of exactly what you said. Peter David made it. made it this like it was soap opera-y, but it was a family. It was funny. It was fun to read the interactions of the characters. Ryan, I mean, he set you up.
Bring it out, but watch his video. But bring it out.
Oh, totally. What the video is well worth watching. Your intro had me giggling.
I watched the intro a couple times, Ryan.
It's so good.
It's so good.
I thought it turned out pretty good.
You clean up very nicely.
Yeah.
I didn't know he couldn't wear a baseball hat.
I've never seen you without a hat, so I was.
It's a rare occurrence, but it does happen from time to time. Yeah. So I started last year getting into the idea of original art. I'm kind of like, I very easily shift from one cool thing to the next thing when it comes to the greater comic hobby. I'm into statues a little bit, and now I'm into original art. And I had a show earlier at the start of the year where I had a few guys on. They're all original art guys, and we had a great chat about that stuff. And like that was, I mean, I was already pretty much going into the original art world, but that one really just like, okay, I'm buying a piece of art as soon as possible.
But I like that you really set yourself up. Like you didn't give yourself a choice or an out, and I respect that.
Yeah, it's like
you decided that you hate money and you're going full bore into it.
Well, if you watch my channel, you know I have a very tenuous relationship with my wallet.
Oh yeah.
any opportunity I get to increase the tension, I like to do it. So this was definitely one of them. Yeah, so anyways, after talking to these guys, I was like ready to go. And just so happened that this perfect page came on my radar. And I mean, if I was gonna buy an original art page, this was as good as I could get, I would think, within my like budget range and just for who I am as a collector. So it came from this book, this one shot, Origins of Marvel Comics. And this book just basically it's like one pagers of all the different X-Men staple characters, and each page was done by a different artist. And so my guy is Colossus, and this artwork is by David Yarden, and the original pencils and inks, like I said, came onto my radar, and I pounced. I had to jump on that. So I got the full page, and what's amazing about this page is it's supposed to be like a snapshot, like an all-encompassing page of the character, right? So it has these different moments from his history, kind of like quintessential moments. So the first two panels are from Giant Size X-Men #1, my favorite book, his first appearance. And you have the moment where he saves Ilyana from the runaway tractor on the Russian farm that he's from. And then this is the first team up of the all different X-Men on Krakoa in that story from Giant Size. But then it also features Ilyana's death from the legacy virus that happens later, which is a big, obviously, part of him losing his sister and part of his story. And then that loss leads him to sacrifice himself to bring this cure for this mutant killing virus, the legacy virus. And then just like a awesome action shot, him mangling some sentinels. I mean,
that's awesome.
It's very cool.
That is perfect for me. Perfect.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. I think when I watched your video, I think the page looks better black and white. Like I think things pop better. Same thing with the page. There was a page that Adam showed on Matt's stream, and Derek, the one you just showed. I think there really is something to seeing it before it's colored when it's kind of raw. I don't know. There's something that it's not worse. Don't get me wrong. You want to read a color story, but there's just something interesting about seeing these books that are intended to be colored when they're in an unfinished state, and they're still the pages are still gorgeous. They're still beautiful.
It's just so neat to see those early details without the color, without the computer printed, like it's right there. Like, and he's got some interesting techniques, even with just like with brush work, and he's got like where he's added some white ink to it as well.
Okay.
To like give texture in some spots. It's a cool page for sure, and it's just neat to see it at that stage before it gets processed into comic form.
Yeah. I want to show you brought something up, so I want to show a book real quick. You're getting ducked, Hagen.
I'm fine with being ducked.
So I picked this up for 25 cents at a local con. This guy sold it was 4 books for $1, so 25 cents a book. But these 4 were in one bag, and I was like, "So is this $1?" And he said, "No, it's 25 cents." So I got all 4. I got all 4 of these for 25 cents, and it's the Magic
series. Yeah.
I love that. I don't have those books. I need to get that miniseries.
Okay, so I read this because I play a lot of Marvel Rivals, and I am into Magic. Like, I love to play her as a character, and I'm like, I think she's neat, so I'm going to learn about her. So I read this, and it is weird, man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And what can you guys tell? Because this is weird. So in the story, she gets sucked through a portal by a demon. But she's not a mutant, but she's a mutant sister. But then she starts developing mutant powers because she gets aged up because she's a kid. And when they go through puberty, that's when their powers start like manifesting. So in this portal world, there are different versions of the X-Men. Like her brother, Colossus, he's dead in this world, but Storm is there and she's an old lady. And Kitty Pryde's there, but she's kind of a demon. And Nightcrawler's there, but he's not helpful. And I can't remember what the heck is his name? The guy who runs Limbo.
Belasco.
Belasco run Limbo Town. So here's issue 3, and then issue 4 actually has a great cover, I think.
Yeah. Best cover of the series for sure.
So yeah, this was I don't want to say I didn't like it. I didn't love it. It was weird, and it's Claremont, so it's wordy.
That was weird. Wasn't that like a year after they like first did that?
So this is where that story starts.
Okay.
X-Men 160. The whole team gets sucked into this limbo world, and they escape, but she gets left behind, and because there's like a time differential, she ages really quickly.
Right.
Before she comes back, right? She comes back like shortly after
7 years for her, but it's like seconds for everybody else.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, spoiler, but at the end of issue 4, Kitty pulls her through the portal, and she's just aged up, and that's when Professor X is like, well, I guess you're going to join the New Mutants, and she just kind of walks off. She just kind of walks off into the sunset, and she's like, and now I'm a new mutant. That was how it ended. But I appreciate you saying that, because I felt like I missed the beginning. Like, I felt like there was backstory I wasn't getting, because it starts with her going through the portal with no real.
That was classic Claremont, right? Plant the seeds and then maybe get to it 3, 6, 12 months later.
To be fair, like, that was written in the 80s, where like, who the hell's Magic, right? Like, she wasn't even Magic. So if you weren't following it currently, you wouldn't have picked that series up.
Yeah.
And so, like, to go back and just get it because you recognize her from like newer stuff. Like, even if I hadn't read the Claremont run initially and I went back and read it, I would have been like, what the hell's going on here?
Okay, so it's a mini. I guess where I'm thrown is you're saying it's a mini series, but it's like a mini series that expects that you were caught up to a certain point or that you knew something.
Yeah,
and that makes sense.
Yeah, it's like
it's really nice to know that X-Men fans are not as confused about the X-Men timeline as non-X-Men fans are, but you're not 100% like
oh no,
you're not 100% there. That is very validating for me.
I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot, man. No doubt about it. So
Time travel and X-Men, name a better couple, you know.
I mean, that miniseries elaborates
Nate and
on the
Hagen
story well after it already passed, right? So
Yeah.
It does have some context from the regular run.
And, you know, just to jump into new books for 2 seconds, because I love the game, I've been picking up her new ongoing, and this is actually quite
new series is good. Now her character is very different now than it was 20, 30 years ago.
Because all I want to do is make sexy covers of her, and that's it.
Well,
That's all.
and I'm going to
like,
argue this is terrible demon fighting attire. This is not what you need to be wearing. I think the costuming is stupid,
but it makes great cosplay.
It does. But I mean, no joke.
Not for me though. Not for me. It would be bad cosplay for me.
That would be fantastic.
Haunting.
I really am enjoying this. Eric, you're reading it too and liking it?
Yeah. A lot of those newer series that they're trying, like Psylocke got one, Storm's got one, the Dazzler got one. Well, we know kind of what happened with Dazzler. Some are pretty good. Other ones is kind of like hard to follow idea-wise. What are they trying to tell us? But yeah, that's one of the better ones because I think that's her first solo series too. And I think they actually had an idea for a story with her, and it makes sense. It's not kind of broken ideas, thrown together.
Yeah, it feels a little like almost at the beginning, especially kind of like a detective story. Like she's an expert in weird dark demon magic.
Yeah.
And weird dark demon magic's happening. So she's gonna suit up and go fight it.
And I love
on
her.
Board. It's great.
I love her snarky personality that she has too.
Yeah, I have the first issue. I haven't read it yet. It's on my long catch-up pile that I'm terrible at keeping up with, but I will read it.
The list is daunting, but I don't know. I love talking about stuff with people who get excited about something because I'm like, well, if they're that into it, I want to read it too. How about Eric?
So I have, because I've been putting stuff together for signings, I have kind of a collection for you to think about pursuing. Some are super kind of must-haves. Other ones are just oddball stuff that I like because I like them. To kind of go along with that Man Loves, God Kills, a second storyline that is a must that you should read starts with this one. And it's the Phoenix Saga. So this is the first time we get to see Jean Grey turn into the cosmic entity known as the Phoenix. Now, granted, through time, she's left it, come back, but that's kind of the whole nature of the Phoenix power. So it's interesting to see how they handle it.
It works as a literary device, is what you're saying.
Yeah, but the original is the one that you want to go with. To see how the X-Men, basically they're like, what do we do with this? This is like the first time we get to see a power level to that extent. And of course you have your weird spin-offs that they did. So that you can usually find in trades, which is nice because they've reproduced that so many dang times. Here's one that you could probably find in a dollar bin. And this is probably one of the first X-Men books I've ever read. And it is this one, Heroes for Hope. It was.
Oh, I'm pretty sure I have that in a box.
You probably do.
I think I do.
This awesome cover by Arthur Adams.
Yes.
But this was one of the first kind of exposures I had to the X-Men. I mean, Wolverine was the big draw for me. I was like, oh, look at this cool guy. He's just kicking ass all over the place. But then we get to, I see Rogue for the first time and Magneto as a good guy, on the team. I mean, look at your boy Ryan. Look at your boy there.
He just swole.
Yeah, he swore it, and I love this costume. That was the costume that I loved because it was my first introduction to him.
And you're gonna notice that there's a phoenix there, but that's not the same phoenix as the phoenix that he just showed. It's a different phoenix.
That's the one I like.
Welcome to time travel and alternate realities.
Now,
Here,
okay,
technically the daughter, but not entirely, because like
I was gonna say, is it second?
You even more. There she is.
So this is the Phoenix who is in Excalibur, which is which is another X book that I read for quite a while
This
and
is very
really like.
You're running there, Eric. We're just like, I have every book he's calling out right here. Like,
yeah, I love this series.
I do too.
We got to see kind of your tie-in to the X-Men with Nightcrawler and Shadowcat, but yes, that's Rachel Summers, alternative dimension, different time period kid of Summers. So
she's a hound.
You think this is I read Silver Age DC. This tracks fine. I get it. I get it.
I'm all good. I got it.
Time travel, alternate dimension version daughter.
Then right after that one, there was this big book, which they kind of did in the animated series. It was the Trial of Magneto. So yeah, he's not a bad guy anymore, but this thing, man, holy cow, it's some adult themes in this, of him kind of paying the piper for what he did in the past. But, I thought this was a very important book to the point that they did too. They put in the cartoon. So
X-Men 97.
Yeah. And that is another thing I'll say is my son knows nothing of the X-Men. We watched X-Men 97 without any of the previous cartoon.
Yeah.
He had a few questions. Who's this character? Who's that character? But that show was so good. Anybody could have jumped in and enjoyed that. I think like if you had background knowledge, you had more enjoyment or, you at least had that to go off of. But man, he loved it. And the other day we saw an ad and he's like, when is there another season of that? I was like, yeah, when is there another season?
I think that's a great thing of the animated series. It brings that new generation, perks that interest. So it's like it reintroduces them to the franchise and it's like they want to dive in deep to see these origins of these stories and stuff. So I love seeing that. All right, more essential readings. Here's a way back machine. This is a reprint.
The original reading.
Yeah, the original team. But you like this era of comics. So you would love Stan Lee's writing in this original line.
Yeah.
He loves words. That's all I can say. He loves words.
He loves words.
So that one, and then after that one,
is Chris Claremont.
Yeah.
Well, Chris Claremont strings words that people know together. Stan Lee, you don't necessarily have that guarantee.
No, he's making up words. Excelsior.
But
yeah, here's another one that's a must read. Giant Size X-Men. This was a tribute one that came out a couple years ago, but it's basically a straight one.
I'm eyeing some original art from that.
But yeah, plenty of reprints for this one if you want to read it.
Nate, don't listen to that. If you don't read the original copy, you're a fake fan, and it doesn't count.
I'm not a fake fan.
So you're gonna have to drop bare minimum like $10,000 to read both of those.
I teach third grade, no problem.
And then I got the last couple here I have are just fun ones, kind of offshoots of X-Men. Derek already mentioned X Factor. Well, I am an old school X Factor fan that brought back the original team, and this is the series. We got Apocalypse, we got Angel with his metal wings. I love this series. I do too. I was like, as a kid, I'm like, I can't go back and get those old ones. So this was what I got.
I've got a complete like 9/8 X Factor run, like basically 9/8. They're not rated, but like they could probably all.
This is my original copy, so it's pretty worn. It's got a wicked roll going. I read this thing so many dang times back in the day. And then Ryan, you'll like this one. When I found out there's mutants in Canada, oh my God, I was all over this series.
Yeah,
it was a neat, different perspective of the mutant world. Had ties the X-Men like with Wolverine and stuff. But it was just a whole new view of mutants. I mean, we actually had half elves. We had a snow god. They got
half elves. They're French.
Yeah, and I love this concept of the alpha flight, beta flight, and they had gamma. Did they have gamma back then?
Yeah, there was gamma flight later on.
So I love them having, they worked through the government but they had different like teams and based on their power levels and stuff. So yeah, I love this till about about issue 40. It kind of started getting weird and not making sense, but I was a true fan and had to stick it through all the way. But we actually got some first Jim Lee from this series.
Yes.
Right. So, that's right. I forgot about that. That's
and
really
I was
cool.
going to say, like, for starting points, I don't have the books to pull out, but I would say, like, Generation X, like the first like little bit of Generation X was pretty decent, just for a jumping on point for somebody. And then
like 90s.
yeah, and then obviously like that X-Men #1, like the Jim Lee Claremont X-Men #1, just because it's so action packed and it gets there you go. But now I'll have the Magneto cover.
Almost
quadruple gatefold.
Yeah.
He's
in here somewhere.
I think I might have all of those somewhere,
I
too.
just only can imagine off the side there, Eric has like a conveyor belt where he's just like pushing buttons off to the side and getting those books ready there.
Got like a Mary Poppins bag that he's just
really
pulling stuff out.
Well, those are great books, Eric, and I appreciate you bringing things for your, ex noobs to be able to check out. That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm bringing you into my world. I
love that.
Please.
Hagen, I saw you sneak away and get something.
Yeah, so I was looking for one thing in particular. I had a childhood short box. It had about 50 comic books in it. Most of them were Avengers and Cap, some Spider-Man, but I had one X-Men book, and it was X-Men 300, the like silvery foily one.
It was a foily one. John Romita Jr.
And I bought it and I read it, and I had no idea what was going on, but the cover was shiny, so I kept it. But it's like it's a book that I'm never going to get rid of because it came so early in like my collecting. But there is that. But I did want to show that I have just a few like X-Men books. One of them I got most recently that I'll show up here like at the end. It is not anything important or big, but yeah. So the X-Men 97 show was my first like positive media experience with X-Men. And I really started liking Nightcrawler. So I had been like looking in, I found this in a dollar bin. This is just an X-Men classic with Nightcrawler on the cover.
That's a great cover.
That's a cool
and
cover.
There's this one as well, which I also really like.
What's that? Calibre? Yeah, Age of Apollo.
Yeah.
And it's got like the stained glass in the back of it. But I think that the writing for Nightcrawler's been really good, and in the books and even in like the first movie that he was in, I thought that he was written really, really well. Mr. Aikens just asked, do I have Cap Annual 8? I sure do. I just didn't think to bring that one out. But one of the sillier books that I have is this.
Babies.
I think I found this in a dollar bin as well. But yeah, I found it, saw it, had to have it. But
I may have that over there.
I'm sure you do. But Nate and I recently went to Nashville. We went to a place called McKay's, and we were able to find books for 10 cents and 50 cents. And one of the 50-cent books that I found, and it is not like a high grade copy whatsoever, but one of the 50-cent books that I found was this. And I just think that this is like a really, really cool Silvestri cover of Wolverine. Now I don't know the context of this. I haven't read it yet, but am I right in saying that it's like the Brood? Yeah, okay.
The Brood. Derek has
was just really hungry.
I love Derek has an entire video based on do not buy that book unless you find it in a dollar bin. And you did it.
I found it for 50 cents.
I hope you're proud, Derek. He did it.
But yeah, I have a very meager X-Men collection.
There you go, Hagen. I dug mine out for you.
Ah, thanks. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, I have such like an affinity for that book. I just love that big
so
foily
pretty.
stupid things so much.
90s shiny goodness.
Yeah,
that's glorious.
I got it. I'm sure that I got it when I was like 10 or 11. So it was designed to work on those kids, and it still worked, 20 years later. So, no complaints here. But no, I don't pick up a lot of X-Men books because they treat my favorite character like shit. Like most of the time, like they use Cap as a stand-in for like, this person in red, white, and blue is government. He's going to stand in for government. And then of course, like, the X-Men aren't huge fans of that. And I get that. I do. But he's written different in his books. I swear. He's not
right.
he's not what you guys think he is.
You're absolutely right, dude. Like they don't give Captain America the proper justice in the X-Men books because exactly what you said. He's the government man, and the X-Men have always had issues with government people telling them what to do. And like, it goes back into the early, like, with Val Cooper character, like, and the whole, well, I'm not gonna get into that, but yeah,
well, like I understand why they use him as shorthand for that because he's wearing a flag, but he's my guy.
But I mean,
it hurts my feelings.
He doesn't show up that much in the Claremont era, right? Like,
no,
I can't think of a lot of times where Cap crossed with the X-Men too many times, but like. It's probably more of a modern
crossovers, like
kind of thing.
Yeah, Avengers versus X, I think, was a series they did.
Yeah,
I remember that one.
Yeah, I hated how they wrote Cap in that because it was basically like, can you be okay with being oppressed a little bit, like just a bit, and like, no, absolutely not.
We're on an island, Cap. What more do you want?
Right.
I think actually Cap says some pretty nice things, like sticking up for the mutants in God Loves Man Kills, doesn't he? Like, doesn't he go on TV?
He does.
Yeah.
You guys really should read that book.
Before we show any more books again, you guys, the three of you. Now, Eric, I know you read a lot. Like, you pick up a lot of books. But Derek and Ryan, what are some other, outside of the X-Men or X-Men universe, what are some other books that you guys are really into, other characters you like, just speak to anything that you really dig. And Ryan, I know a little bit about Derek, so I want to start with you, Ryan. Are there other characters or books that you are into?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm by my own personal like life experience, I'm not like a huge reader. I have to force myself to be a reader. So when I got into comics, like, that's like, I didn't want to not read. Like, so I try to read as much as I can, but I go through stretches where like I just get really into TV or something, or watching a lot of YouTube, right? And I don't read as much as I would like to, but I keep pushing myself. And it's funny enough, this last week I've been reading a lot of Namor, because I'm going to be on Codex on Thursday doing an all Submariner show. And yeah, I was about to say something. I was going to say Hagen should really tune in on Thursday to Codex. We are going deep on his favorite character.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
that's great.
Good. That was good.
I'll tell you, I got it right here. I'm reading. I just started Spirits of Vengeance.
Wow, that's a nice
like Rise of the Midnight Suns.
Okay,
so I just
some
started
light
that,
reading.
And I'm looking to start one of two things. So I want actually some input from you guys. I'm either gonna start Annihilation or Avengers by John Hickman.
Annihilation. Start with that.
I'm gonna
I've
vote.
heard really good things about both. So
I have not read Annihilation, but there's some of it is at least some of it is Keith Giffen written, and he's one of my favorite writers, and it's one that's been on my list. So that's going to be my vote.
That goes into the Guardians of the Galaxy, which goes into like the War of Kings, Realm of Kings. X-Men Kingbreaker with like Vulcan and Deadly Genesis. Oh my god, it's so good, so good.
Okay, well, that'll be it then. I really want to read. I've got both volumes of Hickman Avengers and Secret Wars, so I really want to read that too, leading up to the movies. So I better get started.
You got a lot of reading to do, Ryan.
Oh, dude, I have a whole shelf of Omnis right here behind this wall, and like I have so much reading to do. So much reading. And then I have on Marvel Unlimited, so like I just read random stuff sometimes. So like I said, I've been reading Hagen's favorite character, and then I have my pull list, which is mostly X-Men stuff, but I'll save it. I'll save that for Thursday. Anyways, I don't want to go into too much detail on the Namor stuff because I'm going to be talking about it for a couple hours on Thursday. So.
You're a gentleman and a scholar, sir.
Really welcome.
Derek, what's something you're enjoying outside of the
for Hagen?
Ooh,
hello.
Just a rep, just to show, like I got more than X-Men stuff, and I was like, I got to bring something cap for Hagen, so that's my cap, my best cap book.
That's awesome.
It's a good one to have.
You guys won't believe it, but I gave that book away a long time ago, like 15 years ago, along with a donation of a bunch of comics. That was one of the books that went there.
Wow.
I sold my first copy of it to get to my X-Men 1, and then I just was able to pick up that copy at the start of the year.
Can I be 100% honest about that book? Like,
yeah,
it's not important. It's really not important. It's not his first appearance in the Silver Age. It's not his first appearance in an ongoing. It's his first ongoing, kind of, because that doesn't even start his story in that ongoing. It finishes up what was going on in Tales of Suspense. So like, it's expensive because it's one of the big premiere issues, but it shouldn't be.
And that's why I have it. I really love the big premiere issues, and I'm trying to get them all in 7.5 in that grade. So that's mainly why I have it. But it's also a great cover. It's it's
an iconic cover for sure. Yeah. But it's just not like it's not an important story. But it's a great cover.
I always thought.
Sorry, I didn't mean to soapbox there.
No, Sharon Carter's a little image in like the bottom corner, right? Like she's just a little lady. I always thought that was like funny how they just kind of like throw her in the background, the blonde, just piece her in there.
The girlfriend.
Yeah, she's like just kind of just. I always thought she just looked goofy back there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Anyway,
that is an odd depiction.
Yeah.
Derek, what is something you're really into outside of the X-Men books? I mean, I know for a fact you love your pre-code horror.
Yes, that is true. I also like modern horror. So this is Plague House. You guys were talking about it the other day on the stream.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to pick this up. So I did. Yeah. I grabbed cover C.
And what did you think of it?
I will wait till the next issue to see, because it kind of ended a little strange and ambiguous, and I wasn't entirely sure what the feel of it. I liked the premise, but just the way it ended, it was just like, I don't know what's happening. I don't know if I like this, but we'll see what happens next issue.
Yeah, I really do like the premise. I wasn't sure if I was gonna. I didn't pick it up. I wasn't sure if it was a pickup for me.
And then because of Dope, I finally caved and picked up Bug Wars.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I'm going to give the second issue a shot with this too. I wasn't totally sold on this. So
yeah, I wasn't either, and I haven't picked up the second issue yet. I think I'm going to have to at least read it just to see.
Yeah, and then
he's all about it.
Yeah, it's kind of like,
it's fun. That's all I'm going to say. It's fun.
It is, but it's also like, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of immature moments in it, which is like, I don't know. Energon Universe, G.I. Joe and Transformers as well. I don't know if Matt and Clemson's still in chat, but like what I read is Transformers, and the Kickstarter for the friggin' Marvel or Skybound Transformers.
I saw that you posted that. I'm so excited about that.
Oh my god, it's so expensive though, and I don't know if that's like pre-tariff prices. So we'll find out. So I'm gonna pick that up eventually. But yeah, that's really all I'm really reading. And just because I was at my LCS, I ended up finding this is the Star Wars Shadows of the Empire comic that came with the toys. If you guys remember, Eric's moving around as if he like has one like in his pocket.
Where's my bag of holding?
He's gonna go get it.
Yeah, he's going to go grab it.
So this is the book that came with the toy. This particular one was the IG-88 and Boba Fett toys, and there was one that had Darth Vader and Prince Caesar. These aren't like actually large comic books; they're only like maybe 10 pages. But this is like a near mint copy that was kicking around here. So you bought like the 2-pack of toys, and this was in the background.
Right, I remember those.
Loved this cover, and yeah, my LCS has randomly had it, so pick that up. But to answer your question directly, that's what I'm reading. And I also just picked up the trade paperback of Dual Power Bomb. So,
and okay, I mean, I am digging my Daniel Warren Johnson lately. How does that? Have you read much of that yet? Is that?
I just picked it up yesterday. I have not read a single page, and yeah,
I really like his art. I think the current Transformers. I'm only up to the second trade, but it's just wonderful. Like the 80s kid in me just absolutely loves it. You showed a couple. Let's see. I got 2 I was going to show that are I just got last week. I don't know if they're new or not. But Lucky Devils. I don't know if anyone's reading this. So this is 2 shoulder devils. You know, they sit on the shoulders of humans and tempt them. And these 2 are tired of their station in hell, so they are really ramping up their humans' bad behavior. And it's good. Like, I really like it. And I don't know anything about the author, Charles Soule, Soule, and Ryan Brown. They did 8 Billion Genies, which I did not read. But 8 Billion Genies is advertised all the time in this book. But what I think it was this book. Yes, what I got really excited about, this was one of my favorite. I only have the first trade of this book called God Hates Astronauts. And I guess they're doing a omnibus of it. I read it a long time ago, but it was like the Fantastic Four, but really brutal and hysterical. I don't even know how to explain it, but it felt like Silver Age Marvel on methamphetamines. That's my review. Hello Darkness is an anthology horror series that I pick up, and this is the one I've stuck with the longest. I think it's on issue 9. It's been really good. This one has a story about a teacher whose kids are terrible, and she basically feeds them to this demon that she has in a box. And when the kids come out of the demon box, they're all good kids. So, you know, why that would appeal to me, I don't know. Then there's little pinups by different artists, and this one creeps me out, like with the holes in the eyeballs.
Yeah,
there's a phobia that is that. I can't remember what it's called. There's a yeah, I don't like it. There's a Ginny Frizen pinup in here.
Oh wow.
You know?
Spider tongue.
And there are these little 1-panel comics that this guy does called I Can't Take You Anywhere. And this one down here had me laughing so hard. So I'm sure you can't read it, but it's a child asleep in bed. And the caption says, "This cartoon is canceled because of a gas leak." And then the next 1-panel comic, whatever it is that's happening, instead of it happening, this person is looking at the panel of the gas leak and says, "Holy shit, is that kid dead?" Like, it's such a meta moment. So it's little things like that keep me coming back to Hello Darkness.
Yeah, that's great. I like how every story in that series has a different art, view. So it's like some you may like more than the others, but maybe you like the story more in this one than that one. They're really trying different things with those stories, which is what's cool.
Yes, I think they're not all hits without a doubt, but I think every issue has had at least 1 or 2 because there's several stories.
Yeah,
it's always been worth a read. I've never regretted my it's the one I have on my pull list. Like the EC horror anthologies, I regret those. Like, I'd rather have the $5 and try something else. But those were really good. those were just some new books that I brought. I had some other stuff too, but I want to open it up to you guys because I can show books anytime. Derek or Ryan, either of you guys have anything that you brought that you wanted to talk about tonight?
I got a couple things I could just throw up. I brought this for Nate.
Yes.
Oh yes, that is on my hunt list.
A little X-Men DC mashup
Yes.
here. I have not read it, but I'm sure it's good.
That's
I've heard it's good. I've heard it's actually a really good read.
And that's Walt Simonson art on the cover and back cover. It's a kind of a dual cover there, so pretty cool. And I had to bring something. This like I don't have very much DC, so I had to bring.
It's okay. I got enough for both of us.
And then you guys were asking about other good storylines, X-Men wise. This two-parter.
Oh yeah,
Days of Future Past, or you could get it in the one, like the square bound version. Great story.
That's Claremont too, right?
Yep.
That is part of the Claremont run. But in terms of like easy reads, it's just 2 issues. It's a complete story. And it's like it's one of the highly regarded stories within the Claremont X-Men run.
And then you can see her first appearance.
It was so surprising to me when I heard that, or when I first learned that Days of Future Past was only 2 issues long, because it's such like an important storyline. Like I know about the storyline, and I don't read X-Men. Like, it just surprised me that it was only 2 issues.
Well, Claremont can write as much in 2 issues as some people do in 10.
True, he packs a lot into an issue.
He really does.
I just grabbed this because it's cool. Boom 11. I'm a big Jack Kirby fan, but I'm also a cigar smoker. So
that is outstanding. I love that.
Yeah, perfect. That's on my list.
If I can give you something to put on your read list, Ryan, there is a Jack Kirby graphic novel biography that came out just a couple years ago, and I think it's just called Kirby. But it's his life growing up, going to war, dealing with Stan, going to war with Stan.
Oh, but
like
it's all I've heard about that. Yeah, that sounds really, really cool.
It's very good.
Do you guys know Dave from West Coast Avengers?
Yes.
He put out these 2 books called The Many Faces of Jack Kirby and The Many More Faces of Jack Kirby. And it's just these cool little art books with faces, Jack Kirby faces. And it's just art from across his career.
Yeah, that's great for anybody that's an art fan and then a Kirby fan.
Yeah, just cool stuff to just flip through.
Somewhere in Los Angeles, my friend David, he has a channel called The Garage Geek. He made a video about it too. He went to a Jack Kirby museum. And it was just all these pieces and prints, original Kirby stuff like that. I love Kirby's art. Like I maybe Hagen will agree with me. It's got a Jeff Lemire quality where it's so ugly, but so perfect and so beautiful all at once. Like, I don't know.
I can see that.
Can you see that? Okay.
Yeah.
So I used to always
blocky. It's big. I
used to always say you got to look past his blocky style and look at his layout style.
Oh, yeah.
He was a master at laying out his panels and pages to direct your eye to the areas that he wanted you to, focus on.
Yeah,
he's like your classic old school artist, where it wasn't just about the big splash or he had a method to the way he drew and laid out his pages.
His cosmic Kirby crackle and all that stuff is just like
it's
so iconic.
The crackle, the machines in the Eternals or in the Fourth World, all of that stuff is exactly what Eric just said. Like it's all there so that you'll look at it and say, man, that's intricate and that's awesome. But its purpose is your eye naturally follows the lines to what he wants you to see in the order he wants you to see it.
But
he's a master.
Like any distinct style of art, it's not for everyone, right? Like some people just won't like it because the blockiness or the weird faces or whatever, right? It's so subjective. But in general, obviously Kirby's a master and well regarded, not only just for the art, but like his created the stories that he's been part of, and
he created the Marvel universe.
Yeah, well, the characters created, right?
That's kind of the interesting thing is that like I don't know about you guys, but I'm a sports person. And so when you take a look at people that were amazing at their sports, at the formation of those sports, they would be waxed by athletes today. And it's different because it's not necessarily accomplishing a task, but it could be argued that artists today have like on average, a more like technical command over like line work and colors and stuff. There's more study that's having been done. But back then, like folks like Kirby, like, yeah, it's a little janky, it's a little odd, but he was the first person to do a lot of what he did. He pioneered a lot of those techniques, and that deserves a whole hell of a lot of credit.
There's Jim Shooter had a blog in like 2011. It's still up at jimshooter.com, and I was like glued to it when he was posting, and I actually used it a lot when I wrote my book. By the way, I wrote a book, and he did a I think it's called the $1.98 storytelling lecture, and in it he goes into great detail about the composition of panels and pretty much goes through, I think it's still live, like to see this, but he goes through Jack Kirby and like the Strange Tales issue or like an early Fantastic Four, and pretty much says like how Kirby was able to, like as Eric said, like create these panels that drew your eye around, but also he didn't compromise anything to do so. So if he drew a house, he made sure that the house was fully in the picture. He didn't like cut the corner and like just have the house like end at the panel, and then you just kind of guess how big the house is. Like he planned everything out, and he did it at such incredible speed and arguably at a great quality too. And to have somebody of Jim Shooter's quality, who I thought was a great editor-in-chief at Marvel, despite what many others may think, to actually analyze his work from his perspective and how he writes stories. This is obviously years after Kirby drew this artwork, and how it still teaches people today that from his work. Like there's just something to be said about something that's actually, newer artists definitely have an edge over their, like, more control over the line work or whatnot. But there's something very timeless about what he did and how he went about doing it, especially at such a scale, not only in the quantity, but of the quality of it.
The speed at which they were pumping things out back then too, for him to be as consistent as he was, is just insane to me. I love those early. I have a couple of the Marvel Masterworks of the Fantastic Four, and I have them because I just love to look at the way he laid out those panels. The way he draws the Thing is one of my absolute favorites. It's not a book I enjoy reading as much, like, which is a rarity for me. It is one that I picked for the art because I do just love Jack Kirby. I love you guys. but and I think Ryan mentioned it. I understand why not all art is for all people. And I do understand why some people would look at that Silver Age Marvel stuff, the Kirby stuff, and say, it's not, no, I don't like it, because they like, they have an eye for what modern comics looks like. We have an appreciation for all of it. I think the five of us, for sure.
Not Greg Land though. I hate that guy.
Oh, good Lord.
See, I have kind of a love-hate with Barry Windsor Smith, who there's some stuff I really like that he's done, but I kind of have a problem with a lot of faces he does, because they all look like Leonard Nimoy, for instance, and it just bugs me. But that's just me, right?
Why? That's the dream.
I was going to say Nate has no problem with that.
I love it.
Most people would say Barry Windsor Smith is a master, right? And like his stuff on like Weapon X and stuff is amazing. But yeah, like I just sometimes his faces just drive me nuts. Just like I'm sure Kirby drives other people nuts. I have a friend who can't stand Kirby, but he loves McFarlane, who's another guy with a very distinct style, right? Yeah. And not everybody loves McFarlane.
Nimoy the Barbarian.
That is funny. We are coming up on an hour. So I do want to respect people's time, as well as my family's, because they want to see me tonight before they go to bed. But I do want to know if there's anything else anybody wanted to bring up before we wrap things up for the night. I did have one. I had two things I really wanted to show two of you here. So if you would indulge me real quick, Derek, you had mentioned this one.
Yeah.
So this was a gift from Dope. And I'm just wondering I don't know much about this. Oh, okay. The way you would said, oh, that looks great. Like I thought maybe you knew something I didn't. So this is from a company called Prize Group. It's black. Okay. It's Black Magic.
DC gets that title eventually. If it's the same as the Bronze Age, it's anthology horror.
Oh, it is anthology horror. It says by Crestwood Publishing. So it doesn't even say Prize Group in here. It's volume 7, issue 4.
Yeah,
it's very cool
volume.
It's in like I said, pretty brittle shape, but like staples are good and it's all held together. And I think color on the inside actually looks really good.
Oh, look, there's Leonard Nimoy up in the top right.
It is.
It does look like it.
Wow. Fascinating.
And well kept in his bubble there.
So yeah, I flipped through this. I haven't read it yet. I can't wait to, because I love any old anthology horror. And then the other book I brought was for Eric. Oh, am I not going to be able to find? Nope, I found it.
Oh boy. Oh my goodness.
Adolescent Radioactive Black Belt Hamsters, #1. They Massacre the Japanese Invasion.
Oh, that's a different volume. I don't know that volume because I know this volume.
Okay, I have that one too.
It's available. He just pulled it out of thin air.
He's insane.
How did he know he was going to be talking about us tonight?
Okay, so this is the Hamsters Massacre the Japanese Invasion issue 1.
But do you have Samurai Penguin is the question.
Eric has the full run of Samurai Penguin.
I'm sure he does. And it's right there, isn't it? It's right there.
Right. There
God damn you, Eric. May God damn you.
Who else could a Samurai Penguin #1? Oh yeah, it's right here.
Right here.
I've got plenty of stuff in this room, and I don't know what any of it is.
Belt holster.
You guys ever see that movie Kung Pao Enter the Fist? And he's like,
yes!
He's like, I just need these diamond-shaped things exactly 1 inch in diameter. He's like, right here in my hand. That's just Eric right now with any comic
book. You could meet Eric
at
the mall, and he'd be like, "Oh, this issue."
I need to look for that one now, Nate.
No, you don't, because that one's yours. That'll be coming to Heroes Con. Consider that one in your pile. Okay. Awesome. That's why I wanted to show. That's why I wanted to show it. It's one I hadn't seen you shown, and I've never seen it before.
And I actively look for those animal books.
I know you do. Like I said, I've got a nice little stack of black and white 80s independent stuff, and I will just throw that in there.
Man, oh man.
I mean, but this is going to be like when we went to Nashville, we had more books the first night before we went digging. We all already had a pile of books, and that's how Heroes is going to be. Like Thursday night when everybody gets together, when I swap you guys your piles, we'll have a nice healthy head start before the doors open. What's coming up for you guys? What do you guys got coming up? Plug away before we go. Eric, you got anything coming up?
I am working on an out and about video right now. So basic videos of haul. I did just have a dollar pull video, and I think the end of the month is my live show.
Awesome.
That's about it. Nothing special and new.
Ryan, we already mentioned you just had a video come up that everybody should go check out because it was just hysterical. I loved it. But do you have anything else coming up on the horizon?
Yeah, so I mentioned it earlier. I'm gonna be on the Codex Comic Station on Thursday for their Character of the Week show, deep diving on Submariner. So Hagen will be along for the ride for sure, and I hope to see everybody else in the chat. So that'll be good. And then on my channel, I'm hoping to have I don't think I'm going to get it done by the end of the week. So maybe at the start of next week, I will have a new video out and just taking you through a little bit of a Mark Jewelers Alpha Flight haul that I picked up.
Wow.
Nice.
And
that's something.
And then at the end of the month,
I'm so excited for this, Ryan.
Yeah, the end of the month, the Council of X is convening yet again. But this meeting, we all the guys on the show, or I would assume most of the guys on the show, are going to present their pitch, their idea for their very own original X-Men mutant character. They have been given the homework to develop this new character. They're going to come up with a power set, a name, and some kind of backstory, how they fit into the universe. Beyond that, it's up to them how far they go with this. I left the doors open, visual aids, whatever. They just gotta give that to me in advance, so I have it all prepped for the show. But it's gonna be a fun one. It's gonna be a fun one. And
that sounds awesome.
Hold
Ryan,
on. I have
Ryan,
that.
I think mine's been ready since 1990.
And his name is Robin.
Well, there you go. It's your moment. The problem is I keep having ideas and then I'm reading stuff and I'm like, oh, it's been done. Oh, it's been done. And I'm like, shit. Like, so I'm still working on mine. But it's gonna be a good time. So I think it's gonna be April 28th, Monday, April 28th at 9 Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific time. On my channel, the Colossus.
That is awesome. I am really looking forward to hearing those pitches. Derek, how about you?
Are we all playing these characters or we get asked?
Yeah, that's what Mr. Akins is ready to create a campaign.
You guys want to do.
Oh boy.
We're probably gonna have some kind of like vote for the best one or something. I don't know.
I have a video coming out this Friday where I go over this copy of Airboy from December of 1945.
Wow.
So this is my oldest Golden Age book, and I talk about Airboy quite a bit. And yeah, I'm saving it for that. I have another video that I'm likely going to be doing where I take this X-Men number 64, and I'm likely going to crack it out of its case because I don't care about graded books. So I think it's time for me to break this thing open.
Do you have an update on your giveaway?
So I was going to grab this next. So yes, I have a giveaway going. I'm on the road to 1,000 subs, and I'm going to give away this copy of X-Men 109 because go Canada and such, right? For many different reasons. So I'm going to give this away. I was less than 70 to go at the moment. If I take a quick boo, I am at 966 subscribers. So once I get to the 1,000, that's when we give this book away, and everybody is going to be qualified. I'll have some way for everybody to get involved with it. But yeah, anywhere in the world, I'll ship this. So
awesome. Yeah, if you're not subbed to Derek or any of these gentlemen, I do have links to everyone's channel in the description of this video. So please sub them up. Wonderful guys, great channels. I have a ton of fun watching you guys and hanging out with you. Hagen, how about you, my friend?
So I am also going to be on Codex Station this week, sort of as a palate cleanser from Namor. We're going to be doing Comics Unleashed on Saturday night. So we're probably going to be doing that until like 1 or 1:30 in the morning, and then 9:30 Sunday. I have a show on my channel with you, Nate. With, I believe, Alan.
Alan, the Comic Collector Geek, will be our guest.
And then this coming Thursday, not this coming Thursday, next Thursday, the 17th, I will be on Gary B, the Casual Comic Guys show. So that is
Are you doing the 10-1-1?
I am.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. It's hard.
Yeah, it is. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's going to be a bunch of fun.
Awesome. Yeah, so as you mentioned, I have a video that's shot. I just don't know if I'm going to get it out this week or not. Like, this week is crazy for me work-wise, but I'm going to try, but I'm not going to kill myself to do it. So it probably won't be till next week. It's going to feature something that Eric gave me that is just magnificent. So I'm not going to spoil that, but so I'm working on that. And then Sunday is our comic book hangover show with Alan. Next Tuesday, I will have Ricky from All Sorts of Words. He's back from his hiatus, everyone. He can talk about, he moved and I'm really excited to have a chance to hang out with him, but I may have to shift it back a half hour. I just have to see, my son has his last math bowl competition and things get real at math bowl. Sometimes it goes a little late. So I
can't believe the shit that popped off at math bowl.
they were factoring trinomials and I was like, whoa. So depending on when that's over and when I can get back home, it's either going to be 8 or 8:30 next Tuesday. But that's what I got going on as well. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. Everybody in the chat, thank you. Excellent. Big Nasty set it up here. He was like, great show, great comments, everyone. And I agree. Great comments. This was a ton of fun. We will do this again sometime. You guys will come back. I just love hanging out with you all so much. So if I don't see you guys before, we'll see you on Sunday. What are you laughing at now?
Laughing at Derek.
He's like, nope,
not coming back.
He's not coming back?
Not enough X-Men, that's for sure.
All right. We will see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much. Have a good night, everybody.